super fun music nerdy time with Electrospector, me. I'm sick, by the way, so I'm going to sound like garbage. But anyways, I want to talk about a mistake I've been making since I've been producing, which is like 8-9 years. And I only figured out that this was a problem until this year. All my tracks this year have done away with this issue, but it's changed my low end game and saved me a lot of time on mixing my low end, which all of us want to do. I know you've Googled or YouTubed like a million how to make my low end better. So I'm going to show you something that I've been doing that's really been hurting me. And so this is Ableton specific. So if you're in Cubase, Logic, FL Studio, whatever, this may not apply to you, but this is definitely Ableton specific. And it has to do with auto filter and high passing specifically. I don't know that, it's kind of an issue with low passing as well, but noticeably for the low end, high passing is an issue. So rather than me yapping at you, let me just show you what I'm talking about. Schwunk, close OBS. So this is an old track. It's a 2-year-old remix. I'm just wrapping up and cleaning up, making it modern, making it mine. And it has this issue in it that I think now is a good time to just highlight and talk about. So it has auto filter in here. And what I've used auto filter for in the past is to build suspense. So again, high pass is just slowly removing your low end for like a drop or whatever it is, and then bringing it back in. And that's normally what I use it for. In this track specifically, if we look at the automation lane, it comes down from 26 hertz up to 847, 2000, and it just goes back down to, again, build that suspense. But what I noticed is this year I've been producing without it. And I noticed a very substantial difference in my low end being louder, cleaner, just more perceptible, and me saving a lot of time doing some EQ and the mastering and the mixing phases. So let me just show you the difference here. So this is with auto filter on, and this is a chorus. So the lowest note of the sub is hitting about negative 39 decibels. Now if we take off auto filter, it hits at about negative 32, 33 decibels, which is a 6 decibel difference, which is fairly substantial, especially when you're looking at your low end. So why? Now, your eyes are probably just as good of a tool as your ears. In my opinion, that's why we use visualizers, or at least I use visualizers all the time. I just wasn't using them in this case. So I really started to figure out why. And if you look at auto filter, it sweeps all the way down on high pass to 26 hertz, which is more of a feeling to us than it is something that's perceptible to our ears. And so in my mind was no harm, no foul, right? Like I'm cutting down on 26 hertz. I'm not losing anything, like maybe just a little bit of feeling, but that's not the case. I just wasn't looking at the actual curve. And when we look at it, it comes down to, it starts the decay at like 90, 80 hertz to get down to that 26. And so we're reducing almost 70 hertz of information, which in our low end is a really big deal. That's where it all lives. And granted, you could probably play with the resonance. You could probably bump that up and try and equal it out the best that you could. But again, why do that? You're going to be potentially bumping it and doing more low end work anyway. So my solution to this is just creating a high pass and a low pass and just a standard EQ8. So I've got my high pass and I've got my low pass macroed, and I can just sweep it the same way that I would for auto filter. And if we look at the curve here, this is the important part, is it goes down to 10 hertz on the lowest part of EQ8, where auto filter does 26, which that's negligible. That's not a big deal. But when we look at the curve itself, it starts decaying at about 12 instead of 90 or 80 or whatever it is. So you're restoring everything. You're maybe losing a little bit of feeling in the low end, but comparatively, you saw the numbers, 6 decibel difference just by having that on versus this. Like, I'm gonna go this way every time. It is notable though that they are two different things. They have two different algorithms. Multiplier on YouTube did a video a long time ago showing the difference. Auto filter is made for these fluid movements in your frequency spectrum, whereas EQ8 is meant for just like static changes primarily, and it creates very, very small artifacts when bumped up, but you're probably not going to notice it. But anyways, it's something that, again, has plagued me for a really long time. It's a mistake I've been making for far too long. I figured for new producers, or if maybe you're like me and just, I don't know, blind to your auto filter curve, that this can save you some headache on your low end mixing in the future. So hope that was helpful. Anyways, take it easy.